Hello and welcome to your Sagittarians. I'm just being very angry with myself because my camera fell and it's a new one. And I'm recording this on a Mercury retrograde. You know, I'm that loyal. I'm recording on a Mercury retrograde, which is foolish if you are an astrologer and you know that and you're doing it. That means that people with Sagittarians risings like me can be very stubborn. They can be. Anyways, welcome to you all, dear Sagittarians, dear fellow Sagittarians. How are you doing? Happy New Year. And January is really, although there are some tricky things going on for the mutable signs and you're one of them, there is good news. And let's start with it. Let's start with it for the whole month. You will have support from Saturn. Believe it or not, Saturn, good old Saturn, giving you the structure, the competences and the integrity, making you a very loyal person. You already are very loyal, but even more now. Saturn there in your first house, sextiling Jupiter over there in your 11th house is amazing. It really is. And even this is a general horoscope, of course, but all the other things that I'm going to mention, not important. Actually, these videos should just be 1 or 3 minutes. Actually, really, they should. Maybe I'm going to do that. You're not going to like that, are you? Anyway, so why is this so positive, this Jupiter sextiling Saturn? Because there is a balance between you developing and you maturing and you setting boundaries, especially with other people. Saturn in your first house is about setting boundaries with other people. It's saying no. And I know for a couple of you out there, Sagittarians, it's not easy to say no. Because the Sagittarian has a big heart and it doesn't want to say no. It wants to be optimistic, it sees the bigger picture, and it's very, very generous. It's the most generous sign of the zodiac. But now there is like this sextile, your ruler there in the 11th house, which for certainly up until September time of 2017 will be fantastic for you to develop new aspirations. And you need that so much. I've said that quite many times already last year. But now those aspirations, those new friendships that might have started, now they are going to get some more stability. And that's good because that's what Sagittarians do need, because sometimes they're so full of ideas and new ideas and visions, but to make them come true is not always easy. This month, make your dreams come true. If you've got them, it's a good time to start, especially after the 8th when Mercury goes direct in your second house of self-worth. So that probably will give you a bit of a boost there in your self-worth. Probably you have sorted out until then your financial problems or situation, because that can happen. When Mercury goes retrograde and it bumps into Pluto almost, but then it doesn't. There are some things that needs to be restructured because it's in Capricorn when it comes to your money. Hopefully that will be all solved around the 8th or after the 8th of January. And and at the very end of the month, that Mercury bumps into that Pluto. So definitely if it's not coming, the solutions when it comes to your financial situation, it's certainly, there will be an opening at the very end of the month, because then, for better or for worse, because Pluto is about the truth and Mercury is about information. So maybe you're lacking some information to use in order for you to improve your financial situation. But it's also about, if it's not your financial situation, it's your self-worth. There's something about your self-worth that is changing with the Mercury going retrograde in that second house. There might be things that you used to like in 2016 that you don't like now anymore. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, because when you decide, and that can be towards the end of the month, when you decide not to be supportive for that value anymore, there might be some changes in your life then. And but again, it's not that you're afraid of taking decisions, not at all. Now, so the Jupiter definitely gives you more aspirations, more hope than ever in 2017. And as I said last month, it's not going to be a year like 2016 in general. I mean, Saturn, Neptune, they fade away. But you're going to feel still a bit of that energy, especially when, like now, some planets go into the mutable signs. So it's going to be easier for you in 2017 and especially in January to accomplish something. So there could be a great project that you start with, maybe networking. The 11th house is networking. It's social contacts, and it's really going to work, and for a long time, because of that Saturn in your sign. And it's something that you figured out, and that is not too big of a risk, but still something very new and expansive going on. So that's good, whether it is a project, whether it is something new for work, for instance. If you have a business of your own, it really is a green light here, especially after the 8th of January. The only tricky thing actually is that Mars and Venus are in Pisces, which is not bad at all, in your 4th house. That means that you might be a bit busier at home, or might be doing a bit more work at home. But the thing is that this Mars and Venus will bump into the Neptune-Saturn square, and it spreads out over the whole month. So there are some dates here that I have written down to be cautious. Just to be cautious when it comes to, first of all, your house. Check out for leaks, for instance. At the very beginning, and I'm smiling because I'm having this problem actually. So the beginning of January, Mars is together with Neptune, so there could be some problems in the home. Could be. But they're fixable because Venus comes in as well, and it's like she suits it all. She solves the problems, you could say. But then that Mars around the middle of the month, so that would be around 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th even. It's going to be a very important little period of time, because then that Mars over there squares up to you, Saturn. So that could, and also it conjuncts Chiron, the wounded healer. So what does it mean? It means that there could be something literally with you, your physical body, because Saturn is in your 1st house, or it could be something at home, or both, that need to be fixed, and that will demand quite some effort there. And the best attitude is to just keep on going, and to, for instance, if there is a big job that needs to be done, and you know that it has to be done, rather than complaining about the fact that you have to do it, because there is a sort of a responsibility with it, you cannot walk away from it, rather than just postponing and complaining, you just do it step by step by step. So let's say you have a whole pile of work there that, a lot of people have a hard time at work in January because they had some vacation, and then, the pile. Whenever that is the case, just instead of complaining, just do every day what needs to be done, and you will be fine, because after that, which would be after the 19th, you're going to have the result, and the result is going to be good, and it's going to be long lasting, and it's going to give you the fruits. So that's the positive side of Mars-Saturn. Mars-Saturn together, also with Chiron, so some old wounds can come up. Some old physical problems can come up, but again, you will tackle them and do them with some form of surrendering and acceptance. Then it won't be that difficult. If you're going to push it, and if you're going to force it, and if you're going to say, no, I'm not going to do this, then it will become more difficult to handle. So, but there is some very big, how would I say, accomplishment waiting for you around the end of the month, after, like around the 20th, and afterwards. There is accomplishment there, absolutely, when it comes to you, physical health, when it comes to your home. But you will have to go through the pain, or you will have to go through the hard work. That's basically it. You cannot escape it, because then you cannot heal, can you? If you want to heal from something, for instance, maybe you're having an injury or whatever, and you want to heal, you have to go through it. You can't just say, no, I'm not going to go towards this procedure or whatever to heal. No, you will have to go through it. It's that kind of energy. So although it sounds a bit negative, ultimately you get a very big result there that is going to give you a lot of strength and a lot of maturity. And that is good. That is good. So having said all that, again, Venus will also be in Pisces in your 4th house. So if there has been some discussions with family members, there's going to be, you know, this reconciliation energy going on, which is always good, isn't it? And a very romantic, inspiring day can be around the 12th, because then Venus conjuncts Neptune. It's a bit dreamy over there around that day. And yeah, that's the flavor of the month. So all in all, certainly for Sagittarians, a lot can be done, a lot of new starts, but a lot of new starts that have some great results won't be possible without you doing the hard work. So, but you know all of that with Saturn in your sign, don't you? Thank you so much for watching, dear Sagittarians, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.